Well, it's that time again. We are going to be doing a review of Update 4 in Anime Vanguards. If I'm being honest, I'm just choosing to drop the honest part from the title because, I'm not going to lie. I don't do dishonest reviews. So I think it's cleaner and neater if I just put review. And, for future reference, if an update's like really shitty for a game, I'll put like brutally honest review. And then you'll know that the update was ass. But honestly, I was getting a little bit sidetracked. Update 4 in Anime Vanguards was extremely fucking good. This shit was goated. And there's supposed to be a good and bad section, like I do for every single update video. I am really, really struggling to find some bad things to say about this update. And that's not even Glaze either. I feel like the community consensus for Update 4 was overwhelmingly positive. And it's really only been going up from here. Every single time that we've had an update after, I'd say, the Don update, it has been progressively more and more positive. At least, if I'm remembering the timeline correctly, that's how it's been so far. Anime Vanguards has really just had such a generational lock-in. Going from like 6,000 to 7,000 concurrent players to over like 60, 70k on update day, beating out Anime Adventures in player count. And I don't know if they currently have more players in AA. I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because the absolute 360 that they hit in terms of not only the overall quality of the updates, which were already good to begin with, but just how often and how consistently they're pleasing their player base. You gotta give them their flowers. Gotta give them credit where credit is due. This update was, in my opinion, a very good, decent update. But before we get into that, let's just do a brief overview of everything that we got within the update. So we got 12 new units, 2 of which were secret, I believe. Aizen and Yuhaba were the secret units. Then we had 7 banner units. Then we had 2 battle pass units. And the battle pass units are cool as fuck. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is one of my favorite pieces of media that I've ever consumed. So that might just be my personal bias playing into it. But both Lucy and David are incredibly good. They look cool, and I love Cyberpunk Edge Runner, so no complaints from me there. We also got 1 new unit from the Love Portals, which is another game mode that they added. Albeit, it's not a new game mode. Portals have been in the game already, but it's new content nonetheless. Also, I forgot to mention Yamamoto is another secret unit. Bro, getting Yamamoto pissed me off so much. That doesn't really have anything to do with the update. It took me 375 runs to get a single Yamamoto, which is definitely the unluckiest that I've ever been grinding for a secret unit. But we got him. He's insanely good. That's another thing that I want to talk about in this update. No unit in this update felt like a filler unit for the sake of having more content. Every single unit in this update serves a very viable purpose, albeit you're not going to bring every single one of them into every single game mode. I'd say the top meta units for this update were probably Yuhaba, Aizen, maybe Yamamoto. But what I'm trying to say is every single new unit is A tier minimum. A tier at the worst, and like S or, S plus super meta at best. There really were no bad units this update, which is refreshing to see because, sometimes you'll see in other tower defense games, they'll add units that are good, but they're really like just marginally better than units that we already have. So it's very obvious that they're going to get power crept the following update. They're just there to occupy your time, right? Just to take up some space. I really, really love a lot of the shit that they did with these units. For example, Orihime. She's a support unit. Her passive, we've never seen it in the game before. When you evolve her, whatever unit you place near her that costs 2,000 or less is completely free, and you can use that once per match. And on top of that, she attaches a little hairpin to an allied unit that's within her range, and that buffs its damage, cleanses all debuffs every 20 seconds. That's really, really cool. We've never seen that before, and I definitely do want to try out some strategies using her because that's a very useful support unit. Or Oreo, whatever they call him in the anime. A lot of people downplay him, but he's the only unit in the game with infinite range. And just because people don't see a huge DPS number, they immediately assume that he's bad. If you get, not even with Monarch, let's assume you don't even get Monarch on this guy. Infinite range will literally carry you through all of early game. But a lot of people seem to be sleeping on him. Or Ichigo has the passive of Save the AV Society, where he basically just turns into whatever unit you need regardless of the stage, making him probably one of, if not the most versatile unit in the game, just like by definition. Every single unit looks cool as fuck. They're really, really good, and you know, what more is there to say? You can't complain about any of the units if they're all viable and useful. The obtainment methods were also pretty cool, namely Yuhaba's obtainment method, which forces you to go into the new Rifts game mode, which is difficult. Definitely not an easy game mode to do. You're going to need a full team of 6 people with good meta units to make it through, but it's not impossible. And Aizen's little evolution method, where you have to sacrifice 3 evolved units, literally just like Ainz from AA. I like that. It's just reminiscent of Ainz, and for the life of me, I am not grinding for Ainz, bro. So I'll live vicariously through using Aizen. The rest of the units either require you to just evo them normally, or you do have to grind out their little materials in the legend stages. But yeah, Yuhaba's obtainment method is really, really cool, and so is Aizen's. I mean, it's a little grindy, I'll tell you that much. It's not going to be easy to evolve through the new units, but it's a little different, so I can definitely appreciate that for what it's worth. On top of that, something that I don't see a lot of people talking about are the quality of life changes. And we always mention quality of life when we talk about anime Vanguards, because they're the main ones that not really popularized it, but do it at their level, right? The thing about them that I've come to really pay attention to isn't even that their quality of life changes are good. Like, they'll deadass just add shit that no one asked for, that we never knew we wanted. For example, this isn't even in the update log, but I'm going to include it in the video because it happened pretty recently. They added a little option where if you equip a unit while you have a full team, there is a button to instantly swap them out. You don't know how long I've been waiting for something like that. I don't know why more games haven't done it sooner, but I can't be the only one who finds themselves in a situation where they want to equip a unit, but they have a full team. They press the equip button, then they forget, ooh, I have a full team. Let me go unequip it. That little quality of life change is going to save so many people a few seconds. And I know that might not seem like a lot, but that little bit of convenience definitely adds up. And the fact that, to this day, we're at Update 4, where the game has had a pretty... I'm not going to say it's lived its full life cycle. Fuck, AA is on, like, what, Update 18, 19? They're pretty far in there. But the game is already pretty well established, right? If you play anime tower defense games, you know what anime Vanguards is. It's nice to see that even at this point, they're still actively trying to improve upon the game as if it just released. And, you know, I gotta give them their props for that as well. The new cosmetic revamp is also pretty cool. You can, like, mix and match shit like it's Skylander Swap Force. Shout out to anyone that actually remembers that game. I will admit, a little personal gripe that I have with anime Vanguards, at least in terms of their cosmetics, is that the particle effects feel like a bit too much. For example, I have the Gojo skin where he wears a suit, and when I put that skin on, it's like 2% suit, 98% blue particle effect. And, you know, that kind of bothered me a little bit. Obviously, it wasn't really a make or break thing for me. I'm not going to quit the game because I didn't like how my cosmetic looked. But this new little revamp they did basically solves that issue to a T. So now if there's a certain part of a skin or a cosmetic that you want to use, but you don't want a metric fuck ton of particle effects on your screen covering, like, the actual cosmetic itself, you can customize that yourself now. Again, it's one of those quality of life changes that not a lot of people were really, you know, rallying for, but no one's gonna complain that it's in the game. It's a really, really great addition that you didn't even know you needed. I've really only been on the good this entire update, and like I stated before, it's genuinely, like, difficult for me to find something negative to say about this update. I think at the worst, like, the biggest bad thing that this update had was the fact that Yuhaba got nerfed. I believe he got nerfed. Fi made a video on that. Shout out to him, great video. But Yuhaba did receive a nerf, so he like took a video of it when he was pre-nerf, I guess. And some people weren't happy with that. That doesn't really make Yuhaba bad. He's still literally like one of the best units in the game. But some people were miffed that he got nerfed. The thing is, if I remember correctly, because I remember like a dev was talking about it, Yuhaba was never supposed to like have the stats or like passive state that he was in on release. It was a mistake. So when they reverted it, I mean, it was definitely a nerf. And some people were miffed about it. That's really the biggest complaint that I would have about this Anime Vanguards update. all in all, I barely encountered any bugs. In fact, I think I encountered no bugs. I can't remember a single bug that I encountered, unless getting Yamamoto in 375 clears was some sort of a shadow bug that they only fixed recently. My gameplay experience was really smooth. Everything worked as intended. I think the rifts were a little buggy for some people at the start, just because they weren't expecting that many people to log into the update that day and just start completing the little tasks so quickly to spawn in a rift. But honestly, not a whole lot of bad things for me to say. In fact, there is really nothing bad for me to say. And, you know, as someone, I love complaining as much as the next guy. I'm going to give you a 100% genuine, honest answer here. I don't have anything bad to say. And that's a pretty refreshing sentence to have coming out of my lips. I don't know why that took me so long to say, but honestly, great update. Now all that's left to do is grind this out, you know, content farm it, and wait how Anime Adventures responds. Because right now those dudes are, you know, they're down right now. I don't know if their concurrent player count is less than AV. I think it is. A lot of people weren't that happy with the Sakamoto Days update. It was kind of meh. So for me, update 19 for Anime Adventures will really seal the deal as to whether they genuinely want to compete with these other games or if it's just a money farm. If they don't make a noticeable effort to improve the game by next update, I'm just going to assume that they're cashing their check in. That they don't really want to do anything outside of what they're already doing. Because, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality. But at the same time, you got to do some things, right? Please add a unit manager. But I'm getting off topic. That is a whole different video for a whole different day. With that being said, that's going to be it from me. Let me know in the comments what you think about Update 4. I personally really loved it. But if you made it to the end, thank you for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay tuned for more content, and we will catch you in the next one.